Welcome to Zero Booze Lovely Views, where I'm learning to swap hangovers for horizons. Today I'm heading out to one of my favourite riverside walks from Canary Wharf to Limehouse, with one very important destination in mind, the Grapes pub, which is co-owned by Sir Ian McKellen. Yes, Gandalf himself. We start just outside the Elizabeth Line station in Canary Wharf, where you can't miss the area's most famous landmark, 1 Canada Square. Standing at 235 metres tall, it was the tallest building in the UK when it opened back in 1991. Now, 30 years later, it's still one of the most recognisable buildings on London's skyline. From here, we head towards West India Quay. There are loads of great restaurants and bars around here, but having worked in Canary Wharf for over 10 years, I've definitely got my favourites. The sipping room is right up there. It's huge, so I've never really struggled to get a table, and the food is surprisingly good value considering where it is. If you're visiting Canary Wharf and fancy a bite to eat, I'd definitely recommend it. We carry on until we reach Willoughby Passage, where we turn left. It's quite hard to imagine now, but over 200 years ago, this was one of the busiest dock systems in the whole world. Ships from the Caribbean would arrive here packed with sugar, rum and coffee, and these docks played a massive part in making London one of the world's biggest trading cities. A little further on, you'll spot a small round garden with a giant golden egg sitting in the middle. It's a piece of public art that catches the light really nicely and looks completely different depending on the weather. It's one of those hidden gems that you could easily walk straight past if you weren't looking for it. Just beyond that is this lovely sweeping staircase which takes us down onto the Thames Path. This is where the walk really starts to feel special. The Thames is about 215 miles long, and even here in London it's still a tidal river. Twice a day the water rises and falls by several metres, completely changing how the river looks. In some parts through London it's nearly 20 metres deep. And as we carry on, we eventually reach Narrow Street. And honestly, this is probably my favourite part of the whole walk. It feels like you stepped onto a set of a Dickens novel, with its old warehouses, Georgian buildings and cobbled streets. That's probably because Charles Dickens knew this area well and used nearby Limehouse as the inspiration for parts of several of his stories. You can really feel the old London atmosphere here. This is where we arrive at the Grapes. This pub has been serving customers for nearly 450 years, with records going back all the way to 1583. Sir Ian McKellen became one of the owners in 2011, and apparently, if your timing is incredibly lucky, he still occasionally pops in. If you look out to the river, you'll also spot an Anthony Gormley sculpture called Another Time. And depending on the tide, you'll either see the whole figure standing there or just the top half sticking out of the water. It's a brilliant little detail and somehow it suits this spot perfectly. The walls are littered with lots of Charles Dickens memorabilia, which makes it a fascinating place to look around. And what's the most amazing curiosity about this pub is that Gandalf's staff is displayed behind the bar. The staff was donated by Sir Ian McKellen, who is the co-owner of the Grapes, and he played Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit film trilogies. It's really amazing to see such a historic and important bit of film memorabilia squeezed into a tiny, weeny pub. After the walk, it was definitely time for some lunch, and I went for the Greek salad, which was absolutely perfect. It was fresh, light, and exactly what I fancied. And to drink, I thought I'd try a Beck's alcohol-free lager. To be honest, it just wasn't for me. I thought it had a really metallic taste, almost like drinking from an old spoon, and it was unbelievably fizzy. My stomach definitely wasn't thanking me for that. I gave it a fair chance, but I just couldn't really get on with it, so I ended up carrying it with me for the rest of the walk back to Canary Wharf. I hope you enjoyed this walk from Canary Wharf along the Thames Path to Limehouse. I'll be doing a lot more Canary Wharf walks because there's so many interesting things to see around this area. Please do like and subscribe and leave me any comments of things that I should try next, especially with the non-alcoholic beers, lagers and ales. Thank you. Bye.